Channel defense by the Sparks fans. 6 on the shot clock. Clark, a deep three.
I'm just being me, and I'm being honest, and I'm being truthful, and there's a lot of people who maybe have the same views that they just don't feel like they can say.
What if I told you that two WNBA stars, both talented, both hardworking, both loved by fans, were living in completely different worlds when it comes to money?
All right. Here is Clark, splashing home a three from way downtown. Some words with Connecticut.
In today's video, we're uncovering the truth behind the viral debate, Caitlin Clark versus Sophie Cunningham, the shocking money gap that's dividing the WNBA. Because what's happening here isn't just about numbers or paychecks. It's about fame, influence, and how one player's rise to superstardom is completely reshaping the financial future of women's basketball. So get ready. This isn't just a sports story. This is a revolution in real time. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's golden ticket. Let's start with the name that's everywhere, Caitlin Clark. From the second she stepped onto a college court, people knew she was different. Her deep three-pointers, her court vision, her fire, all of it turned Iowa games into must-watch television. When she entered the 2024 WNBA draft, something incredible happened. The WNBA's entire world changed overnight.
What really got this escalated, so that was called a flagrant. Those two were technicals. Charles got a technical, and then Mabry for what we thought should have been two technicals and ejection.
Ticket sales skyrocketed, merchandise sold out, and networks started fighting for broadcasting rights. Caitlin Clark wasn't just joining the WNBA, she was reviving it. Her rookie deal with the Indiana Fever might seem small by pro sports standards, roughly $76,000 a year, but that number doesn't tell the full story. Behind the scenes, Clark has built a marketing empire. She's signed massive endorsement deals with Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, and Wilson, among others. Analysts estimate that her total off-court income in 2025 could exceed $5 million, and that's just the beginning. Every major sports company wants her. Every TV show wants her interview. Every fan wants her jersey. Caitlin Clark has become the first WNBA player whose brand value matches that of major NBA rookies. That's history being written right before our eyes. And it's not just because she's a great player, it's because she's a movement.
Horston's got to come with hands up. You can't let Clark see them.
Picked up by Clarendon. Break there.
Sophie Cunningham, the heart and hustle of the WNBA. Now let's talk about Sophie Cunningham, a player who represents everything the WNBA stands for: determination, grit, and pure passion for the game. Sophie joined the Phoenix Mercury as a talented shooter and fierce competitor. Fans love her fire. She plays with emotion, confidence, and a fearless attitude that brings life to every game. She's the type of player who dives for loose balls, gets in your face on defense, and celebrates every bucket like it's personal. That kind of energy is rare, and it's exactly why so many fans respect her. But here's where the story gets complicated. Despite being one of the league's most recognizable personalities, Sophie Cunningham's salary sits at around $150,000. Not bad, but nothing compared to what top male athletes make, or even compared to Caitlin Clark's overall earnings through endorsements. While Caitlin's face is on billboards and global commercials, Sophie's financial recognition has been limited to smaller partnerships and local deals. And that raises a tough question. How can two players, both skilled, both important to their teams, have such drastically different financial opportunities? Many fans argue that Sophie and others like her helped build the WNBA long before Caitlin Clark made it mainstream. Yet now, it feels like the spotlight has shifted away from them. For Sophie, it's not about jealousy, it's about fairness and visibility. The WNBA's financial reality. Here's the hard truth. For years, the WNBA has struggled financially compared to the NBA. While NBA players can earn hundreds of millions, most WNBA athletes have to play overseas during the offseason just to make ends meet. The league has grown, but not fast enough to provide equal financial opportunities. Until now.
Wilson had it knocked away. Good hands by Allen. And Sheldon comes up with the steal. Sheldon going coast to coast. And we got another break this here as J.C. Sheldon goes.
Caitlin Clark's arrival has changed everything. Her games bring record-breaking TV ratings, social media engagement, and sold-out arenas. Sponsors are finally investing, not because of the WNBA's brand alone, but because of Caitlin Clark's individual influence. She's the first player to bridge the gap between women's basketball and mainstream pop culture. But this success creates a new kind of problem. What happens when one player makes 90% of the headlines and money in a team sport? Players like Sophie Cunningham represent the backbone of the league, yet their value often gets overshadowed by star-driven marketing. It's not that Caitlin doesn't deserve the attention, she absolutely does. But the league now faces the challenge of making sure that every player benefits from this growing spotlight, not just a few. Naeem, the money breakdown. Who's really earning what? Let's break it down with real numbers. Caitlin Clark, 2025. WNBA salary, $76,535 per year. Estimated endorsements, $5 to $7 million. Social media revenue, $500,000 plus from partnerships. Total estimated income, $6 million plus Sophie Cunningham, 2025. WNBA salary, approximately $150,000 per year. Endorsements, $50,000 to $100,000. Total estimated income, $250,000, max. That's a 24x gap between two players in the same league. Some might say that's unfair, others argue that it's simply business. Caitlin Clark's value isn't just her stats, it's her market power. In a world where visibility equals value, Clark has become a media magnet. Sophie, meanwhile, represents the soul of the league, the one who reminds fans that it's still about the game, not just the fame. The fans speak out. Social media has exploded with debates. Some fans say, Caitlin Clark earned this. She's changing the game for everyone. Others argue, veterans like Sophie deserve more respect. They've been carrying this league for years. Even some players have chimed in. A few WNBA stars have praised Caitlin for growing the audience, while others have expressed concern that the media focuses too heavily on one face. And they have a point. While Caitlin's popularity brings more money and viewership, that attention should lift everyone, not create new divides. This debate isn't unique to women's basketball. It's happened in music, entertainment, and other sports too. When one person becomes the brand, everyone else risks getting lost in the shadow. Beyond basketball, the cultural shift. What we're really seeing here is a cultural shift. For the first time in decades, women's basketball is becoming part of mainstream conversation. Networks are investing, sponsors are paying attention, and little girls across America are wearing WNBA jerseys to school. That's not just Caitlin Clark's victory. It's the victory of every player who fought through the years when stadiums were half empty and paychecks were low. Sophie Cunningham's energy, toughness, and leadership have inspired thousands. Caitlin Clark's fame is opening new doors. Together, they represent both sides of what's needed for the league to thrive: foundation and evolution. What's next for the WNBA? So where do we go from here? Experts predict that the WNBA's next collective bargaining agreement, CBA, could include major pay raises and profit-sharing models that finally reward players fairly. With stars like Clark attracting millions in sponsorship dollars, the league has leverage it's never had before. Imagine a WNBA where every player, from rookies to veterans, earns what they're truly worth. And guess what? Players like Sophie Cunningham are part of that future too. She's the voice that keeps the league grounded, reminding everyone that fame comes and goes, but hard work, dedication, and team spirit never fade. So, when we talk about Caitlin Clark versus Sophie Cunningham, it's not really a battle. It's a reflection of two realities colliding. Caitlin is the superstar who brought the cameras. Sophie is the fighter who helped build the stage. The money gap might look shocking today, but maybe it's the spark the league needed to finally push for fairness. Because if there's one thing both of these women share, it's the dream of seeing the WNBA reach its full potential. Now, I want to know what you think. Should the WNBA pay players more equally? Or has the new era of star-driven sports just begun? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like, hit subscribe, and don't miss our next deep dive into the world of women's basketball. Basketball Fire.